On what seemed like a serene morning, a wealthy man took his wheelchair-bound daughter on a walk he claimed would be memorable. What the child didn't know was that it would indeed be unforgettable, but for reasons no one could have imagined. Just as the sun touched the horizon and the sea sparkled beneath the cliff, the man did the unthinkable. But what he didn't realize was that someone saw everything. Someone with 4 legs, a fierce heart, and an unbreakable bond with the girl. Before we begin, if you believe in justice and the incredible intuition of animals, make sure you subscribe and stay tuned to our channel. Now, back to the story. The sea wind tousled 9-year-old Lila Whitmore's hair as she sat quietly in her custom wheelchair, gazing toward the cliffs her father had never taken her to before. Her fingers nervously curled around the chair's armrests. The air was saltier here, colder too, and something about the silence set her teeth on edge. "Where are we going, Daddy?" she asked, looking up at the imposing man in a dark, tailored coat. Gerald Whitmore didn't answer right away. His lips pressed into a line, his grip on the chair's handles firm and unfeeling. "Just somewhere special. You'll see." Nearby, under a gnarled pine, a chestnut mare named Bella flicked her ears. She'd been with Lila since birth, her companion, her confidant, her quiet strength. And today she had insisted on following them, despite the stable doors having been shut. Bella had escaped. Somehow, some way, the mare had kicked open the gate that morning and galloped toward the cliffs, sensing something was terribly wrong. Now, half hidden in the trees, she watched. Her nostrils flared, her muscles taut with unease. Lila shivered. "Daddy, I don't like it here." Gerald looked down at his daughter. His face, usually tight with calculation, now looked haunted. "You remind me too much of your mother," he muttered. Then, without warning, he let go of the handles. Lila screamed as the wheelchair rolled forward. The edge was only feet away, and then he pushed. The scream echoed off the rocky cliffside. The waves below crashed in horror. But as Lila plummeted, something incredible happened. The wheelchair hit a rocky outcrop and snagged on a twisted branch. Miraculously, it stopped, barely. Lila hung there terrified, trembling, eyes wide with disbelief. Above, Gerald stood frozen, watching. Then he turned and walked away, brushing off his coat as if shaking off guilt. He never looked back. But Bella did. The mare let out a furious whinny, rearing violently. She galloped along the edge of the bluff, circling back toward the estate. Her hooves thundered like justice waking from slumber. No one could stop her. Miles away, Evan Clark, the new stable hand, had just finished mucking stalls when he saw Bella tear through the estate gates, mane wild, foam on her chest. "Whoa, Bella!" he shouted. The mare skidded to a stop in front of him and neighed, tossing her head toward the cliffs, then bolted again. "What the—" Evan dropped his tools and followed. Something in the horse's eyes chilled him. He grabbed his coat and sprinted toward the trail. Lila sobbed quietly. Her tiny fingers were bleeding from gripping the chair's sides. Her cardigan was torn, and the wind clawed at her exposed arms. "I'm still here," she whispered to herself. "I'm still alive." Above, Bella arrived, huffing and stomping at the edge. She saw the girl caught in the branches. The horse reared and neighed furiously. Then Evan appeared. "What in— Lila!" he gasped, crawling to the cliff's edge. He could barely see her through the shadows and sea spray. "Hold on, I'm gonna get help! Bella, stay!" The mare stood firm, eyes locked on the girl. Evan turned and ran. Back at the house, Gerald poured a glass of whiskey, hands still trembling. His wife, Lorraine, glanced up. "Where's Lila?" she asked. "She's gone," he replied, voice distant. "We'll say it was the sea, an accident." Bella waited. She didn't move, not even when the rain began to fall. Minutes passed. Then the sound of a truck engine. Evan had returned with Sheriff Dana Roth and a local climbing expert. They saw Bella first, and then they heard the cry. "Lila, don't move!" Sheriff Roth shouted, anchoring the rope as the climber, a woman named Fiona, descended swiftly. It was a dangerous climb. but she reached the child. With practiced hands and a calming voice, Fiona secured Lila and began the slow ascent. At the top, Bella was the first to greet them, gently nuzzling Lila's face as the girl wept in relief. "You came," she whispered to the horse. Fiona looked stunned. This horse, she knew. Roth narrowed her eyes. Then let's find out who didn't. At the mansion, the sheriff confronted Gerald. "Mr. Whitmore, we found your daughter." Gerald's face went ghostly pale. What? She's alive, and she remembers everything." The arrest was swift. Lorraine collapsed in a chair, stunned. The truth unraveled quickly. Gerald had been planning to secure full control of the estate and erase his disabled daughter from the will. But Bella, faithful Bella, ruined everything. Lila recovered in the hospital with Bella stationed faithfully outside her window. The mayor refused to leave, sleeping near the flower beds, waking with every sunrise to greet her girl. "You saved me," Lila whispered each morning. A year later, Gerald remains behind bars. Lila now lives with her aunt and rides Bella in weekly therapy sessions. The once shy girl now leads therapy for other kids, her courage and resilience legendary in the town. As for Bella, she's more than a horse. She's a hero, a guardian, an angel with hooves. If you believe in the loyalty of animals and the strength of a child's spirit, don't forget to share this story, because sometimes justice comes on 4 legs. The end.